You've tried to manifest. You said the affirmations, you visualized, you believed, and your life didn't change. Because what you were taught is just the tip of the iceberg. Today you're getting what's underneath it, the complete system of quantum manifestation from zero to advanced. But before we dive in, subscribe to the channel, because we talk about manifestation, frequency, and internal reality every single week. And hit the like button, because it helps this video reach more people who are also stuck trying to figure out how manifestation really works. Most people who try to manifest start from the same place. Someone told them to raise their vibration, feel gratitude, ask the universe, and wait for it to arrive. And the frustration isn't from lack of effort. It's from a missing piece that almost nobody teaches. Quantum manifestation isn't a more sophisticated version of the law of attraction. It's a different layer of the same process. The field of possibilities works like this. Everything exists in potential before it's observed. Think of a radio with every station broadcasting at the same time. You don't create the station, you choose which one to tune into.
The false assumption that the desired reality does not yet exist and must be created from nothing.
Think about it this way. The reality you're living right now isn't what came to you. It's what you chose, consciously or not, to tune into. The three-dimensional world is a mirror, not the source. It's a movie screen, not a camera. You're not the destination of the image. You're the projector. So when you focus on the problem grows. Not because life is unfair, but because the observer changes what is observed. Whatever you give your attention to, you expand. It's a mechanism, not a belief. And that's exactly what took me years to understand. I was trying to change the screen without touching the projector. Now that you know what the quantum field is, and that you're the tuning dial, the question is, how do you choose the frequency? And why do some people tune in quickly while others stay stuck on the same channel for years? That's what we're going to get into right now. There's one part of manifestation that almost everyone ignores. And it's the exact thing that explains why affirmations repeated 1,000 times change nothing. Why visualization every day never leaves the page. Why life stays in the same place even after so much effort. The real mechanism isn't in what you think. It's in who you are while you're thinking. That's called the state of being. It's not what you do when you're trying to manifest. It's who you are when nobody's watching. It's what you genuinely feel in the silence, not what you tell yourself, but what your body feels when your mind stops working. Think of a garden. Thought is the seed. Emotion is the water. But without fertile soil, nothing grows. And the soil is the state. You can visualize for hours. But if your dominant internal state is one of lack, you're watering the lack, not the desire. That's why affirmations fail. You can repeat, "I am rich," with total conviction. But if your body is still holding money with tension, with fear, with the feeling that it's going to run out, your subconscious doesn't read the sentence. It reads the feeling. And the feeling that's being sustained is one of lack. I spent a long time thinking the problem was the technique, that I needed a better affirmation, a clearer visualization. Until I understood that the problem wasn't the tool, it was the soil I was trying to plant in, and the emotions that come up in this process. Fear, doubt, anxiety, they're not your enemies. They're data. They're information about your internal state. When you feel anxious about money, that doesn't mean you're going to fail. It means your dominant state is still that of someone who doesn't have it. The shift begins when you stop trying to silence the emotion and start understanding what it's telling you. Now you know that the state of being is the mechanism. But here's a question that confuses a lot of people. What are the different ways to work with this? Because there are different approaches and they're not all the same. When we talk about manifestation, there are at least 3 ways of thinking about it. And most people mix all of them together as if they were the same thing. The law of attraction says, raise your vibration and what you want will come to you. There's truth in that, but it focuses on attracting something that's still outside you. That unintentionally creates a waiting position. The person raises their vibration and waits for the result to show up. Like someone who plants a seed and stands right next to it waiting for it to sprout, instead of taking care of the soil. The law of assumption, taught by Neville Goddard, goes one step further. It says, assume it's already yours. Don't raise your vibration to attract. Enter the state of someone who already has it. It's deeper, it's more specific, and it demands more from the person practicing it. Quantum manifestation integrates both of those and connects them to the field of possibilities you've already chosen. You're simply becoming conscious of it and fully inhabiting the reality you want to live. It's not waiting, it's not effort, it's occupation. The problem isn't that one of these teachings is wrong. It's that most people apply level 1 tools expecting level 3 results. They learn to raise their vibration, but never enter the state of someone who already has it. They learn to ask, but never learn to assume. You weren't failing, you were using an incomplete map. Now that you have the map of approaches, we need to talk about what's circulating out there that isn't on this map. And that might be blocking you without you even realizing it. There's a set of ideas about manifestation that's been circulating for years and keeps doing more harm than good. Not because the people teaching it wanted to mislead anyone, but because the teaching was incomplete, and incomplete teachings create wrong expectations, and wrong expectations generate self-blame. Just think positive. That's the first one. As if the work is just replacing a bad thought with a good one. But ignoring the emotional state and subconscious beliefs is like painting over rust. It looks nice on the outside. The corrosion keeps going underneath. Connected to that is the idea about visualizing for hours. As if quantity determined results. That's not how it works. Intensity without the right state does nothing. 5 minutes of aligned visualization with real feeling is worth more than 2 hours of mental imagery disconnected from the body. There's a third one that knocks a lot of people down. The idea that if you don't feel something intense, it's not working. Silence isn't the absence of progress. When the desire starts to feel natural, when you stop treating it like something extraordinary that hasn't arrived yet, that's exactly when the field responds. And manifestation without action? Also a myth. Inspired action is part of the process. What changes isn't whether you act. It's where the action comes from, forced or flowing from the state. And finally, the need to control exactly how and when the desire will arrive. That anxiety about results is focusing on the lack. It's digging up the hole every hour to check if it's sprouted. You're not broken. You were taught with a manual that had pages missing, now that you know what doesn't work and why. It's time to understand what the approach that actually works looks like. And it's simpler than you think. Most people who try to manifest treat the desire like something special, like an event that's going to happen or not. Something that hasn't arrived yet and needs to be earned. And that's exactly the posture that creates the invisible block. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. The law of assumption puts it directly. Enter the state of the version of you who already has it. Don't fake it, don't force it, don't pretend. Inhabit it internally as something natural. Like someone who's already arrived at the destination and is living there, not someone who's looking at the destination from a distance and wishing. I know this creates an immediate question. But how do I feel like I already have something I don't have yet? That was my question for years. And the answer isn't to fake it, it's to familiarize yourself with it. Feeling the desire as real before you see, it isn't blind belief. It's the state of someone who has already normalized it. Think about it this way. You buy a new piece of clothing and at first you're aware of it. It feels different, strange on your body. But over time, you forget you're wearing it. It becomes natural. That's what we need to do with the desire. When it stops feeling special, when you stop treating it like something extraordinary that hasn't arrived yet, the resistance drops. And here's something almost nobody considers. This doesn't mean not acting. Inspired action is part of the process. The difference is where the action comes from. When the state is right, movement happens naturally. You act because it feels right, not because you're desperately trying to force the result. It's not inertia. It's alignment. The three-dimensional world works like a mirror with a delay. What you see today reflects the state of yesterday. If your state changed today, the reflection doesn't change immediately, and that's what knocks a lot of people down. They shift for 2 days, don't see results, go back to the old state. And the mirror stays the same. The difference between someone who manifests quickly and someone who tries for years isn't the technique. It's how normal the desire has become to them. You already know the what. Now what matters is the how. And the good news is, it starts simpler than you think before we continue. If what you just heard made sense, I want to point you to the channel's ebook. I put together the complete system in there, the map that took me years to build, organized the way I needed to find it when I was starting out. The link is in the description. And now let's get into the step-by-step, starting with those who've never practiced anything. The first thing you need before any technique is clarity. A specific desire, not I want more money, not I want to be happy. A GPS needs an address, not somewhere nice. Write it down. One desire with details. In a notebook or a document you keep just for this. Once you have the clarity comes the visualization. But not the kind you've probably already tried. It's not sitting down and forcing a scene for an hour. It's 5 minutes in the morning, right after you wake up, with the scene of the desire fulfilled. What matters isn't the duration, it's the feeling. You need to feel the scene as real, not just see it. When the feeling shows up, you're done. Alongside that, active gratitude. Not thankfulness for what you already have, but gratitude as if the desire were already yours. 3 things a day, feeling it as someone who already owns it. This isn't pretending, it's recalibrating the state. You're training your body to feel abundance, not lack, and throughout the day, monitor your state. When you feel anxiety, impatience, or lack, don't panic. Recognize it, and return to the feeling of someone who already has it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be conscious. The last step is simple. 1 intuition-guided movement per day. Not forced, not planned with anxiety. 1 action that feels right in that moment. The right state will point the direction. You just need to be willing to move when it does. You don't need 2 hours a day. You need 15 aligned minutes. That's the starting point. But if you're already practicing this or want to go further, there's a next level that deepens things without making them complicated. The next level doesn't start with a new technique. It starts with more depth in something you already know and that you're probably not using the right way yet. The most transformative step at this stage is what practitioners call the state aching to sleep, or SAT. 5 to 10 minutes before falling asleep, you relive a scene as if the desire already happened. The mind, in that window between wakefulness and sleep, is highly receptive. The subconscious absorbs imagery and feeling much more easily than it does during the day. It's the most accessible programming window you have. From there, the work goes into beliefs. Not affirmations, but emotional evidence. If you're carrying a pattern of money is hard to come by, or I don't deserve to have what I want, no surface level technique is going to fix it. You need to identify the pattern and replace it, not with a new sentence, but with an opposing emotional experience, a memory, a feeling from when something worked. The third layer is active normalization. You start treating the desire as something that's already yours, without dramatizing, without anxiously checking in. When you stop waiting like an outsider, you're sending a different signal. Not one of lack, one of ownership. The state works like a thermometer. Did anxiety come back? That's not failure. It's a signal that you drifted out of alignment. Recognize it, come back. It's an adjustment, not a restart. And when the state is high, you move. Confidently, naturally, without needing to calculate everything first. Not pushed by anxiety, drawn by alignment. That's when opportunities show up in ways that seem impossible to explain. Because you weren't forcing it. You were aligned. Most people stop at the level of technique. The ones who manifest consistently went to the level of state. Now that you have both levels, there are patterns that can quietly sabotage all of this even when you're applying it correctly. And it's important you know them before you move on. There are patterns that silently derail the process. You're applying the steps, your state is good, and something inside is still blocking. Recognizing these patterns changes everything. The most common one is behavioral self-sabotage. You visualize abundance and then immediately act in an inconsistent way, spending impulsively, avoiding a necessary conversation, skipping a move you know you need to make. The action has to be coherent with the state you're building. Otherwise, the signal you're sending is contradictory. Connected to that is anxiety about results. Constantly checking if it's arrived, looking at your phone, waiting for the sign, reviewing the situation every hour. That's focusing on the lack. It's digging up the hole every hour to see if it's sprouted. There's also subconscious doubt. You affirm out loud, but underneath there's a belief that contradicts everything you're saying. A conscious affirmation doesn't cancel a subconscious belief. Both need to be aligned, and that's exactly why belief work matters so much. And finally, wanting to control the how. Trying to dictate the exact path your desire will take is resistance dressed up as planning. You set the destination. The field finds the route. It's not that manifestation stopped. It's that you drifted out of the state without realizing it. Beyond avoiding these mistakes, there are resources that can sustain the state when your routine gets heavy. Let's look at what those are. Tools don't create the state. They sustain it when you forget. The simplest and most effective one is the manifestation journal. Every day, you write the desire as if it's already real and record your gratitude as someone who already owns it. This anchors the state and creates a record of progress. You can come back to when doubt shows up. In front of the mirror,
I am worthy of
affirmations,
love.
but only when spoken with genuine feeling.
I am enough.
I am.
Just as I
deserve.
am.
Said with real emotion, not
I
repeated mechanically.
deeply love
The difference is
and
entirely in the feeling
accept
behind
myself.
the words. Before visualizing, 10 minutes of rhythmic breathing. This is heart coherence meditation. It aligns the body and mind before you plant anything. It prepares the soil. At night, you can record the scene of the desire fulfilled and listen to it while you fall asleep. Passive nighttime
You
programming.
are love.
You don't need to do anything other than listen. The subconscious
All
absorbs
your
it while you sleep.
desires are.
And the channel ebook is the complete system with all of these tools integrated into a plan that makes sense together. The difference between doing each thing separately and having the right sequence. The right tool at the right moment can be the difference between holding the state and losing everything you've built in 2 days of distraction. With the tools in place, how long until you see results? That's what we're going to put in perspective right now. How long does it take? That's the question that generates the most frustration. And the honest answer is it varies. Some people manifest in days, others in months. It's not luck. It's the depth of the state and the level of belief. The clearer the desire, the more normalized the state, and the less subconscious resistance, the faster the field responds. The signs of progress aren't always the final result. They're synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, conversations that appear, doors that open in ways you didn't plan. It's the emotional relief you feel when you think about the desire instead of the usual anxiety. It's the natural actions that arise without needing to force them. Frustration with timing is a sign you went back to the state of lack. Not that you failed. You're not behind. You're in process. And the signs may already be coming, if you know what to look for. Now that you have the complete map, let's build the plan that goes with you starting tomorrow. Manifestation isn't an event that happens when everything is perfect. It's a daily practice that fits into anyone's routine, and it doesn't require time you don't have. In the morning, 5 minutes. Right after you wake up, before you reach for your phone. Relive the scene of the desire fulfilled with real feeling, not duration. Alignment. When the feeling shows up, you're done. Throughout the day, monitor your state. When you feel lack, impatience, or anxiety, recognize it. Don't panic. Come back to the feeling of someone who already has it. It's a small choice made several times a day, and that's what builds consistencies. At night, the state aching to sleep. 5 minutes before falling asleep, reliving the scene as if it already happened. You fall asleep in the state, not thinking about the problem. Nighttime programming, and it's one of the most effective practices because you don't need to do anything beyond that. Once a week. A moment of reflection. What have you noticed that's different? What signs showed up? What actions arose naturally? Celebrate that, not as proof that it arrived, but as evidence that you're on the path. Manifestation doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency in the state. 15 minutes every single day is worth more than 3 hours once a week. If you want to go beyond what this video delivers, the channel ebook has the complete system, fully structured with every step in the right place. The link is in the description. If you made it to the end of this video, you're walking away with something most people who study manifestation never get: the complete map. What the field is, how the state of being operates, why popular techniques fail, what actually works, and how to apply it from the basics all the way to the advanced level. That's what took me 15 years to put together. Now, here's something I learned: knowing isn't enough. What changes reality is consistent application. And the difference between someone who applies it and someone who forgets it in 2 days isn't willpower. It's structure. It's having a system you can follow even when your routine gets overwhelming, when doubt comes back, when the reflection still hasn't changed. The channel ebook is exactly that. It's not more information. You already have the information. It's the structured system, so you're not depending on how you feel that day. Every step, every tool, every adjustment in a sequence that works together. The link is in the description. Now, tell me in the comments, what was the biggest insight from this video for you? What part shifted something in the way you see manifestation? Tell me. I read everything. Screws beers to the channel, because every video here goes deeper than the one before it. And if you know someone who's stuck trying to understand how manifestation really works, send them this video. It might be exactly what they needed to hear. Until next time.